Hello guys, today I'll be debunking Doey. But I'll also be debunking arguments that are against my debunk. Before I start the debunk, I need to say something because of the comments. If someone is trying to rebunk my debunk, first, be respectful and mature. Second, don't make excuses like, it doesn't make sense. This one can go either way depending on the context, such as someone is saying a situation will make more sense, etc. Third, if the rebunk includes ignoring a point mentioned in the video, I'll just tell it's there, instead of writing an entire paragraph on the topic. Fourth, people calling it regabate would be taken as not being able to do anything about this debunk. I'm serious about everything in this video, clearing this right now. Fifth, just do not make excuses at all. Sixth, do not use already disproved arguments, unless you're rebunking them, or you've already did. You don't decide this. First of all, his regeneration, it has limits. After it surpasses the limits, it has errors and it stops working. As we seen in his death scene, it stopped working when we froze him for the 5th time and used a tunnel boring machine TBM on him. We literally see him regenerate from that type of stuff previously in the game in his boss fight. He was frozen and sawed 4 times. First 3 were normal, but the 4th saw wasn't normal. He failed to regenerate from it for a while. XD, it quite literally shows his regeneration is getting weaker and weaker as he uses it. All of this happened in 209 seconds, got this from a normal gameplay video of his boss fight, which is pretty short, so overusage of his regeneration causes him to lose it. No, it's not because of the liquid nitrogen, as we also use liquid nitrogen in those 4 times as well. Some people have claimed it's because he tanks too much nitrogen. And that is completely false. Doey literally tanks liquid nitrogen directly on him on the first 4, while on the 5th one, they're all far away from him. You know what? Watch this clip.
Can't trust anyone!
Notice something? Look at the saturation. This is what hits Doey in those first 4 times, while this is what hits Doey before the TBM hits him. Basically, the liquid nitrogen is too far away from Doey, so it doesn't directly hit. The liquid nitrogen close to Doey isn't even glowing and it's a little bit transparent, just like normal gases. Simply know he didn't tank 6 of them, the amount he tanked is in fact way less than 1 nitrogen cylinder. The liquid nitrogen fades away before reaching and he only gets in contact with a very small amount of it. So again, this proves his regeneration failed in him not taking 6 liquid nitrogen cylinders. I don't know how people even believe this while we literally saw him getting frozen by a single cylinder. XD. Not to mention he kinda gets down a little, which prevents the liquid nitrogen that's not falling down to hit him. So Doey barely tanked it in that scene, although he wasn't fully covered in it and still able to move. See, Doey literally gets damaged by fire in his boss fight. If you shoot him, he screams a bit, and doing it again and again is what makes you free from his grip. Doey is weak to fire, which is thermal energy, so being made of dough clay doesn't make him immune to physical attacks or gives limited resistance or something similar. Some people claim he holds it before, but it's his base form which is stronger. Plus Doey wasn't caught on it. Although Doey gets hurt by falling rocks. The fallen debris hurt Doey. We can clearly know this is true since his voice lines literally says, moans and screams in pain, after the debris falls on him. Some are trying to argue it wasn't physical, which is untrue. And I'm going to explain why that is. It happened after the debris fell on Doey. Doey's voice came right after he broke out of it, although it took few seconds, but he OFC won't be screaming consistently while struggling breaking through it, which proves the debris was reducing his voice enough that the player won't be able to hear it. Only the pillar Doey destroyed was in fine condition, the ceiling and roof wasn't visible, but we can know they were weakened AF, since only the pillar and some part of the floor was left decent, only because of the plot, to be honest. Doey off-guarded Pianosaurus, preventing him from directly attacking Doey. Pianosaurus' arms and stuff are pretty short, he won't be able to use them if someone has off-guarded him. Doey didn't even fought him directly, he literally smashed him against walls, floor, and parts that hit the walls were literally head and stuff, already a huge disadvantage for him. Pianosaurus's kinetic energy also helped decently in this process. Doey simply just weakened his structure before eating him. Pianosaurus's neck is also weirdly flexible, which means its internal structure is quite weak, exactly what hit the walls and floor. It's just what we saw in the games. Now let's go into the books. Yes, there's a Pianosaurus comic now. In it, Pianosaurus is shown to crush a safe haven mini Hoppy Hopscotch and 3 nightmare critters at once. Well, I'm not saying Pianosaurus beats Doey, I'm just saying it's closer than you think. Via this comic, it's also implied Pianosaurus is extremely heavy and his main power is to crush his victims, one of the things he couldn't do against Doey. In a fight, Prime Stalker would high diff Pianosaurus, while base Doey will low mid diff Pianosaurus. Although Pianosaurus is likely above Stalker physically, also faster, I'm not even 100% sure about Stalker winning. Another thing I wanna mention, someone claimed Doey scales to city level via Poppy's plan of destroying the factory. It says Doey would do it himself, that's just insane to think. Let me show a clip.
So, if we're going to free them and stop the prototype, we need to plan for both at the same time. The red smoke you redirected from Playcare? It's an accelerant. All it needs is high pressure and a little spark, and it ignites. The plan is this. We'll fill the foundation with smoke and line it with old mining charges. Then once you, me, and Kissy have freed the orphans, our friends here will blow this place sky high. That's our revenge.
It's clearly stated how they'll do it. Doey agreeing to the plan doesn't mean he's doing with his own power. Talking about his scaling, with only in-game feats Doey is around building level to large building level. This is via him destroying the giant boulder in Pianosaurus. But since Pianosaurus crushed 3 more nightmare critters in the comic, which is also canon, Doey would scale to city block in overall. I'm not gonna use my new experiment argument for him. Why? It's because he's a failed experiment. I have reasons. Doey can't control himself as we seen in his boss fight. Doey crashes out, Kevin's personality causes him to go against the player. He misunderstood him, it's even stated. He was literally made with 3 people: Jack, Kevin and Matthew. Jackie literally fell into dough. That's like saying food isn't bad if there's an extra spoon of salt. Wild example lol, like it's extra and not failed. Extra is not always good, especially when it's something in experiments. While it's stated in VHS tape chapter 4 by Scientist 4, that they can't allow any single of Doey's consciousness to throw the others off. Because if it did, they can have 900 pounds of dough that can shapeshift and go against the ones he trusts. Just because of a stray feeling, we literally see this happening to us in-game lol. While being the first experiment that can regenerate himself this quickly, doesn't matter what injury, shapeshift its body into anything, has 3 consciousness, proves he's like the most complicated experiment, also Doey. I'll link the clip in the description. So he can't even decide what personality he'll use, it'll just matter on like how he crashed out. And Kevin started controlling him mainly. About the monster form being weaker, it's never implied he's stronger than normal Doey. It's literally a crash out. What makes him stronger? Size? Appearance? Well, I might have just agreed that he'll be above base because of it, which isn't the case. First, base Doey endures fire, Stalker Doey can't. Second, base Doey takes a way shorter time to. Stalker's mass isn't increased, it's just extended and filled up in a larger area. As it's the same body with shapeshift like dough, does the weight change if the dough molts into something else if the amount is the same? No, it just means Stalker Doey is softer. We shouldn't forget that it's literally just him crashing out. Although he's also uncontrollable unlike base Doey, as Matthew, Jack and Kevin are controlling at the same time, mainly Kevin though. And Doey would just upscale the feats his Stalker form has Showa, via this XD. Guess what? He's scared of Yarnaby. Both Pianosaurus and Yarnaby attack the player, but Doey only kills Pianosaurus. But why? Both did the same thing. Lol, he literally avoids to face Yarnaby. He backtracks his arm quickly like he'll not get attacked. XD. Doey clearly shows he's afraid and doesn't want to get noticed by Yarnaby. Straight up fear. Doey was in Matthew's personality, because he wanted to help us. He was trying to guild instead of taking down Yarnaby like he did with Pianosaurus. It's even stated in the VHS tapes, a reminder, by Doey, that he is scared and ran away but only came back for the safe haven members, because they were his family. Before someone says B, but the doctor knew Doey's weakness and Yarnaby is his favorite pet. The doctor did not cared about Yarnaby, he literally just said, poor Yarnaby, he doesn't have emotions now, so he'll not care even if Yarnaby dies, as he wasn't bothered when Yarnaby turned to ashes. Another argument I see people using is Doey breaking the glass, which Yarnaby couldn't. Doey never did it, lol, it's never shown, yeah, it's off screen. And it's even implied Doey's cell has a wooden door, the tape where Jackie's parents goes to meet him, when he's turned into Doey. Knocking, so it's not 100% his cell. Doey's dough being inside just means Doey was just present there. What proves it was him who broke it? Nothing, literally nothing. Besides some things which are easily debunkable, no decent evidence. Doey just walked through there once, as his dough is present there. So Doey is below Yarnaby, who is confirmed to be a failed experiment, consistently weaker than the other three main antagonists, Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Long Legs and Catnap. Another argument I've seen people using against this is that fearing doesn't mean weaker, like how humans fear some insects and smaller creatures. This is superiority fear. This doesn't debunk anything, as those fears are via disgust and stuff. Doey isn't dumb to fear a lion dog, when the player needs his help. The player could have used his grab pack against Pianosaurus, to push him back. Doey still only took Pianosaurus down, while both were a threat to the player. Doey did not fought the prototype, he distracted him and Poppy states,
You need to distract him, Doey!
Before someone says prototype is not dumb enough to be distracted, he reveals at the end of chapter 4 that he was Ollie, since a really long time. And he knows about Poppy's plan, so even if they fought they didn't, or he got distracted, it was all part of his plan. So he gets negged by the prototype so badly he even acted like he fears the prototype. When Doey meets you after you defeat the doctor, he says he lost prototype's track, which doesn't justify the argument. It doesn't mean Doey was chasing him or something. It needs context. It's also contracted by being below Yarnaby. Doey has a horrible narrative, besides being superior to nightmare critters and mini huggies. Doey is the leader and protector of Safe Haven, which upscales him above them. Being the protector leader doesn't automatically means you're the strongest in the group or whatever. It means providing safety to others, also gilding and bringing up resources. In the VHS tapes it has been stated Doey came back for the others, Haven critters, passive mini huggies and etc. He even mentions them being hungry and scared. Not to mention Doey was scared himself. Kissy Missy was mainly fighting for them, as we see in the safe drawing. She's like the main there. To support my previous point of Doey mostly bringing them food instead of fighting for them is even stated in the VHS tapes. Hoppy Hopscotch Bigger Body 1, he literally goes to look for food. Lastly, for the ones who'll use anti-feats to debunk this, they'll simply upscale the objects, like it'll be a feat for it. Like how characters have feats. About AI, just check the pinned comment or description for AI scale debunk. About Wiki, it's not official.